Hello, wine lovers. It's Trophy Wine Hunter. Welcome back to my Alsace wine journey. This is another tasting in my Millesimes Alsace Digitasting series. Thank you again to Vins Alsace for providing these discovery boxes for tasting. And today again, I'm going to be tasting another exciting new winery I've never tasted. It's Domaine Scheidecker, Vins. And again, another high environmental value or HVE winery. So before we taste the wines, let's get to know a little bit about the winery itself. The Domaine Scheidecker was created in 1990 with a merger of two wine families, the Zimmerlins and the Scheideckers, and the union of their two children, Sonia and Philippe, who kind of ran the vineyard or the winery, and then more recently their son Laurent started to effectively start running the winery in 2014. They're based out of Mittelwihr, which is northwest of Colmar, and they have about 10 hectares of land, fairly small producer. And since 2019, they've been certified high environmental value, HEV in English or HVE in French. So on this picture card is Laurent Scheidecker, who is the current winemaker at the Domaine. Again, HEV or HVE, however you want to pronounce it in either French or English, high environmental value is so important. If you look at my review of Domaine Edmond Rents, I explain it in more high detail, but it really gives purity, in my mind, purity to the fruit. It really shows out in the intensity and the purity of the fruit. So they produce, even though they are very small, they produce a lot of different types of wines, a lot of grape varietals. They produce Cremant, Alsace, Eau de Vin, they produce Grand Crus, and also entry-level wines. The first wine we're going to taste is an Alsace Riesling from 2018 from Beauribon, which is a Lieu dit, which is kind of a equivalent to other in Burgundy, like a Premier Cru, kind of like a small region that's not Grand Cru but has special topography, right? So kind of a special, better than I guess AOC in specific region. So this place Beauribon is located between Mittelwihr and Mittelwihr, and it's got clay and marly soil. So yeah, it's what they would consider their second level, not their entry line wine, but not a Grand Cru, so kind of their middle label. The next wine we're going to taste is also a Riesling from the 2019 vintage. It's a Grand Cru from Mellberg. So Mellberg is located in Mittelwihr. It's hilly, and it's got marl and limestone terroir. So again, a little bit better site, and you'll see in the tasting notes that I think it's a little bit more expressive, and both of them I find quite minerally. Next one I'm going to try is their Pinot Gris 2018 Reserve. So this would be kind of not their entry level, but on the same level in terms of quality as their Lieu dit wines. So Pinot Gris is the third most popular grape to grow in Alsace, behind Riesling and Gewürztraminer. This is a semi-dry or semi-sweet, whichever way you say it, style. So it's got some sweetness to this, and they're a very small producer. Like all of this one they produce about 4,000 bottles of this. But you know, some of the other wines, the two Rieslings I talked about in the past two slides, one is only 1,500 bottles, the other one is 800 bottles. So very small producer. And the last wine we're going to taste is their Pinot Noir 2018 Alsace Rouge, which is kind of their mid-level wine. They have a entry-level Pinot also. This would be produced from their oldest vines, so kind of like a reserve wine. Of course, with older vines, deeper roots, lower grape production, should have better quality. Again, Pinot Noir is not grown in Alsace that much, but it is the only red wine grape varietal that's grown. They only produce, again, 2,400 bottles of this wine So again, very small production. Now for the tasting of the wines. Again, this is not how I would normally drink the wines. This is more how professionals would drink them in terms of just a quick taste, but we're just giving samples of each wine. So the first one we're going to start with is the Riesling, and it is a specific kind of region called Bull Ribbon. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And so all these are quite a light, very light yellow colors, like almost like a pear yellow. Good clarity of fruit here. You expect that with a HB winery or vineyard. I get a little bit of mineraliness, some citrus notes, some pear notes. Very light, but as compared to the other winery I tasted just recently, this is a little bit more minerally on the nose. Yeah, nice and simple. Again, very clear fruit, good weight, decent acidity. I would say quite a little bit less than medium acidity, but good kind of good, I guess, citrusy notes and stuff like that. Sorry, something just dropped off my camera. That's why I kind of got distracted there. But yeah, I would say for this wine, I would probably say 80. It's not a wine. It's like, I would say it's 80, 88 points for me. Pretty good wine. Okay, so the next wine is going to be the Alsace, the Riesling, and it's a Grand Cru from Mittelwihr. Let's try this. Again, light pear color. Now this one, as compared to the first wine, which is also a Riesling, more intensity, more tropical fruit. I like this. Yeah, a little bit mineraliness, but more fruit on this for sure. More intensity, more mineraliness, grapefruit, citrus notes, stronger aftertaste, nice flavor. I like this wine. Personally, I would give this 89 points. Probably a little bit higher for some other people because I'm not crazy about the grapefruit taste. That's a personal preference, but really vibrant flavors. I like this wine quite a bit. Let's go to the next one, which is their Pinot Gris. So I'm just going to finish this off. Again, this is not my preferred way of tasting. I really believe that, when you drink wines, you have to drink them with food and over time and on different occasions. And, they have to grow on you. So it's really tough for me to taste it this way without food and just in a very sterile setting. This is the Pinot Gris. Aroma is quite nice. It's like perfumey, like roses, like soap, in terms of the perfume soap, that type of smell to me. Now the taste kind of, it's unexpected because it's semi-dry, semi-sweet or semi-dry, whatever you want to call it. But so you don't expect it with the nose. Probably doesn't have as much acidity as I like, not as much intensity of flavor. It's got some honey. It's got some kind of light pear, light tropical fruit flavors. So I like it, but it kind of throws you for a loop because on the aroma, it's not. You expect more a dry style wine, and then when you taste, it's sweet, but it's kind of semi-sweet, and so it's a little unusual. To me, this is 86 points. Again, it could be personal preference. I'm not used to this. It's kind of a sweet style Pinot Gris, so I'm not quite used to this. Well, decent wine. But the thing is, I do find with all these this HVE or HEV wineries, their fruit is very clean. Like I can taste the flavors very very nicely and very they're very obvious. So it's very clean. It's not muddled in terms of the taste. This is their Pinot Noir. This is the 2018 Pinot Noir. Sorry, the past two, the Rieslings were all 2019, and the Pinot Gris was 2018. I like the color of this. It's got a very dark red color, so I like the intensity of the color. Of course, you expect with Pinot, it's not going to be as dark as other grape types, but it's quite dark for Pinot, so I like that. On the smell, you get a lot of black plum, black berries, and there's a little like astringent in terms of the smell, but lots of black fruit I smell on that, like very clear. On the taste, you don't get any oak. Obviously, you get very clean fruit, almost pure form. I would say that again, fairly simple tasting wine, good fruit content in terms of medium intensity, black plums, black currants. You get that. Not a long aftertaste. I would say this is more what we'd be thinking of in line with a Alsace type Pinot. This is not a modern style North American or Burgundy Pinot. So for that reason, I'm a little bit not sold on this wine too much. I rated 86 points on this. Just in terms of personal preference, I find it a little bit austere and a little bit not a modern style of Pinot. But again, that could be personal preference. Final thoughts on Domaine Scheidecker et Vins. I like the wines. It's a really interesting kind of winery. I like the idea that they are HEV or HVE, whichever way you want to take it. I think for them, they're a small winery and they produce a lot of different grape varietals. I really like their Rieslings and what they're doing with them. The Pinot Gris was a little bit quirky for me, and it could be a personal taste, and the Pinot wasn't, to my style, but it's all personal preference. But I really like their Rieslings, and I think their Grand Cru is quite nice. So enjoy the tasting. Until next time, happy drinking.